How pathetic can some people be?
And I want y'all to know, just because I talk about white people, I don't want y'all to think that I don't like y'all. I like y'all. I do a lot of fun things with y'all, you know. But I can't drink with y'all. Because every time I do a show, after show, white people always want you to drink with them. Like, come on, let's go drink. You know, and I like y'all. I just can't drink with y'all because white people, y'all are the undisputed champs of drinking. Can't nobody out-drink y'all. Y'all drink till y'all fall the hell out. You know. See, black people, we like to get our groove on, but we drink just enough, and we try to philosophize and get smooth on you. We'll fall asleep on your ass. You're talking about, man, we need to end the hypocrisy of the white man and... White people, boy. I know when white people get good and drunk, too, because y'all got that noise y'all make. Don't do that. That scares me. And I like to go to the frat house and drink with my white friends, because anytime you go drinking at the frat house, white boys bring you a drink and hand it to you like it's a top CIA secret. You know, they'll hand me my drink and I go, man, what the hell is in this? Dude, don't worry. Don't ask. Just drink it. I'll see you in 20 minutes. Next thing you know, I'm butt naked standing on a coffee table with a cowboy hat on going, woo!
Dumbass of the Day. 93.3 KZOZ.
Malcolm Whitfield tried to do the right thing. He was responsible. He was sitting at a bar in upstate New York one night last month. And he became concerned that an inebriated woman was planning to get home in a dangerous fashion. He got scared that she would drive home, which would not have been a good idea because she was really drunk.
So he took her home to his bed.
No, what he did is he decided to use his Lyft account in order to make sure that she got a ride back home. He figured out where she lived, and he's like, okay, well, that's probably, I can afford that. It was going to end up being a $35 ride. He was like, you know what? To keep you off the road, it's worth the $35. Well, about 20 minutes after he'd sent her on her way from the bar, he gets a text from the Lyft driver saying, she just threw up in my car.
Oh.
He was like, and Malcolm Whitfield was like, oh, dude, that's bad. Let me double your tip. And Lyft,
No.
Lyft driver's
Your
like,
tip.
Lyft driver's like, no. There's a procedure for this.
There's puke in my car.
$10 is not going to be the cleaning fee for that. So Lyft contacted Malcolm Whitfield the next day to say that there would be a $150 cleaning charge from the ride.
That sucks.
Then Lyft sent the pictures to him, and he was like, "Oh, God.
Oh, come on. That's not even necessary.
Pics or it doesn't count, bro.
You know,
Pics or don't count.
Did he even get the girl? Like, if he at least got the girl's phone number, he could call her.
Well,
hey, listen.
He did get the girl's phone number somehow. I don't know how he did. Maybe he got it that night or something.
Oh, good.
Because he called her. He said, "You owe me $185."
Yeah.
And she's like, "No, I don't owe you $185." He said, "Yeah, you threw up in the car that I ordered you last night. I want the $150 fee back." And she said, "No, I'm not going to pay you the fee."
That's when I just go puke all over her house.
So then
I go to her house. I take a dump on her porch.
Then he was like, dude, that's ridiculous. I'm never doing anything nice for anybody again.
Right.
So the TV station in Rochester, New York was running the story. So then they got in touch with the woman.
Oh, yeah.
A little investigative
Putting
journalism.
the squeeze on.
Yeah, exactly. And at which point she agreed to pay the fee.
That's terrible that they had to get to that. She should have just paid the fee.
She said she was previously unaware of Lyft's cleaning policy and really...
you threw up in somebody's car.
Legally, not the right thing to do, but legally, she would not have been on the hook for it since he was the one that provided her with the ride on his account. This happens to me as an Uber driver all the time. Like, I'll go to pick up somebody, and it'll just like say Robert, and then like a Sarah comes walking out. I'm like, "You're not Robert." And she's like, "No, Robert ordered the Uber for me." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then Sarah will get in the car. I'll take Sarah to her location. But if Sarah was to ever do anything in the car or do any damage to the car, or leave something in the car, Robert would be the one that gets charged with it.
Sarah could disappear.
Well, God, don't say that. Nobody's ever going to get my Uber again.
You throw up in my car, you won't pay for it, you disappear.
I don't know if I'd
You ever throw up in somebody's car?
me throw up in somebody else's car.
How many cars you throw up in?
I don't believe I threw up. I'm really good at holding my throw up.
Really?
Yeah, it's strange.
You
It
throw
is
up all the time.
strange. Okay, I am.
I mean,
good-
I missed to watch you, do the puke and rally thing.
Yeah. Initially, after I take a shot, that's why I do not want to lose the Red Zone Challenge, because there's a good chance I'm going to throw up. Initially, after I take a shot or a beer bong of something, the initial shock to my system will cause me to throw it up immediately.
Yeah.
Okay. Like this happened. This has happened with Jägermeister before. I just don't like the taste of it. I don't like the shock, the jolt to the system. I'm more of a beer/wine/cider drinker than I am a hard spirits drinker.
Okay.
Unless it's mixed into a cocktail.
But you've never thrown up in someone's car.
I'm not a shot taker. I am not a shot taker.
I don't think it matters.
But as far as if I can control myself in a situation. If I'm riding in somebody's car, I can at least tell them hey, in the next 2 to 3 minutes, I'm going to need you to pull over because I'm probably going to need to throw up.
It's pretty good.
And I could train myself to stop.
Something about the movement of the car, if you've drank too much, thrown up in 3 cars. One of them was mine.
One of them was mine.
One of them was yours.
You threw up in your car while you were driving?
No, I wasn't driving. My girlfriend, now wife, was driving. It was a New Year's Eve party. They ran out of vodka, and I was drinking Bloody Marys.
Vodka?
Vodka. And so I had to start drinking. They had tequila.
Are you going to throw up in the studio? Because there's a charging fee. There's a clean.
They had the silver tequila, and so I started making bloody tequilas. Oh, doesn't that just sound terrible? And it got underneath the seat, like in between the door and the seat, and it went under the seat, and it was there forever. I finally had to just literally cut the carpet out from underneath the seat.
Yeah.
I should have just taken the seat out right away. But the next day, I couldn't move for 2 days. It was a bad deal. And then I threw up in somebody else's car, too, but I threw up in my shirt. I pulled my shirt up.
Oh, nice.
And I caught it.
That was very nice of you.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to have to clean it.
Would you pay the $150 fee if you threw up in an Uber or a Lyft?
Yeah, of course I would. That's disgusting. I've had somebody throw up in my car, and they came over to clean it up. But even after that, it's still, that smell doesn't.
Yeah, when you threw up in my car, you did a number on it.
You have to use Tide.
I remember it got all underneath the seat.
Peroxide.
The BMW, I had a mid 80s BMW, and for whatever reason, they had these really high the walls.
Door walls.
The door walls, yeah. It was for safety.
Wells, yeah.
It was for safety, but it was probably, I want to say it was about
4 inches?
5 to 6 inches high. And you couldn't just brush anything out of the car. You had to get underneath it and dump it out.
Yeah.
And it was all underneath the seat. It was not pretty. I remember, man, I spent a good 2 hours. I'm a good friend.
That's why you've been such a dick to me.
If that was my Uber.
For 20 years, you've held this against me. You didn't even realize it. But that was the first night that I ever went out drinking with you. It was pretty much the first night I ever hung out with you outside of college. That's pretty funny.
It was, yeah. You really tore it up.
It was a big night for me. It was my first real job, professional job, getting paid in radio, if you remember.
Yeah, we went out to celebrate, and then you celebrated.
And I wasn't used to drinking.
By vomiting in my car.
Your buddies bought me, 10 shots. It was bad. It was
okay, my question for you is, if Uber charges $150, or Lyft or Uber or whoever charges $150 for a cleanup fee if somebody throws up in your car, should you, if you're giving your friend a ride, like I was giving you a ride
yes,
that
you
one
should
night,
pay for it. If you cause the damage, you should pay for it.
So is the $150 cleaning fee, is that something that is just standard now by society? Hey, dude, if you were riding an Uber, you'd have to pay $150. You're going to have to pay me $150.
I would say if it was my car, it's $250.
Oh, wow.
I don't think $150 is enough to clean up puke.
What makes your car?
It's not just my car. It's just me. If I have
to
clean it up, then it's $250.
I would love it.
That's where I put the price.
This has never happened, but I would love it if somebody threw up in my car as an Uber driver, because that would give me about the equivalent of about 15 rides in one ride, and it's super easy to clean my car because I have those WeatherTech floor mats, And
Oh, yeah.
I literally could open up the car and take a hose and open up both doors and be set for the day. It wouldn't be a bad thing.
I don't do well with vomit. I don't even do well talking about it, and then I start to almost smell
you
it.
You used to make your wife pick up your dog's poop.
Yeah, because that used to make me vomit too. I finally came around on that, but
oh God, I hope I get sick sometime. I throw up in here just to see how you deal with it.
I'm sure that'll happen.
So you need to have kids. Kids will roughen. They'll callous you.
Yeah. Puke, crap. Doesn't matter.
Once you've seen a kid poop across the room onto your dog and then have to clean that up, nothing is like you're throwing up in my BMW's child's play. We're asking you the question, 805beer.com. Text lines at 543-3693. You can also call those lines to answer the question, and it's available on our social media outlets. Just search Jeff and Jeremy on Twitter and Facebook. If a friend throws up in your car, a friend, okay, do you charge them? Do you? I don't know what you charge.
Wait a second, but there's more to this. So, okay, what if they come over and clean it up?
Okay, then
is that a part of this or not?
Then you wouldn't charge.
Because my friend threw up in my car. He came up.
You made him come over.
No, I didn't. He showed up.
You forced him. You went over to his house, pulled a gun on him, and said, "You're cleaning this up."
I would have, but he showed up. He knocked on my door, and I was like, "Wow, I wasn't expecting to see you," because he was a mess. He's like, "I'm here to clean up the car," and I'm like,
"That's the cleanup of shame."
I'm like, "All right." He goes, "Do you have anything?" I said, "No, I don't." So then we went to the store.
Did you drive your puke embedded car to the store?
No, we got in his car. We went to Walmart, and I bought a shop vac. And
wow,
it was an expensive day for me because I had to buy a shop vac, and then he paid for the. But I was, I needed one anyway.
He should have bought the shop vac.
Well, but I needed one, so I was like, I need one anyways. So, but the inaugural shop vac was, cleaning up his vomit.
God, don't be friends with Keith. Keith writes in. He says, "Yes, I would charge them, and I would charge them $900.
Why 900? Not 1,000? If you're going for 9, you might as well go $1,000.
I'm not going to be friends with you.
$900 or suck it up with your mouth. Here's a straw.
I think what Keith is doing by answering this question is trying to scare his friends off from thinking that they're going to get away with getting really drunk and then getting in his car. Like I used to, in high school, I was part of the ASB. So the on-running tradition was that the cheerleaders would come over and they would TP the ASB house. Well, I had this huge tree in our front yard. I mean, this gargantuan tree that would have been like, you would have had to have professionally had it cleaned out if somebody came over and TP'd your house. And I remember I told the cheerleaders point blank at the beginning of the year, before any of the football games, any of the homecoming rallies, any of that stuff, I said, listen to me. I know you guys are all friends. We're all friends here, but we will no longer be friends if you TP my house because I will call the cops on you, even if it's after the fact. I know that it was you guys, and I'm not kidding. I will absolutely call the cops on you guys and have you guys go climb up into my tree and clean up my toilet paper. I immediately took the Trump hard line with them. And
did it work?
Sure enough, I never got my house TP'd that year.
There you go.
Even though
threats will get things done.
Even though it was a tradition. So what Keith is doing by saying, yes, I charge my friend $900. that is a very effective way to get somebody to not throw up in your car.
Hi, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Jeremy, who cleaned the puke out of your shop vac?
Oh, you think he did?
Yeah. So I think in the end, you lost out on this one.
Well, I still have the shop vac.
Do you still use it? Doesn't it smell like puke?
But probably still have puke in it.
Well,
there's dried puke in it.
There's a wet dry filter that you put on it, and then he bought an extra one, and so we just threw that away, and it was like a brand new vacuum cleaner.
Oh, okay.
and really
a tough thing to get out.
Well, especially because it acts like I'm gonna probably gross you out, but I'm gonna get into the chemical reactions here. But a shop vac, the inside of a shop vac becomes like a almost like, because there's so much air moving around in there, it becomes like a food dehydrator. So whatever the solids were,
Well, there was a lot of liquid that went in there too.
whatever solids were in there were probably.
No, I used water to suck it, to dilute it first,
So it was like-
and then I sucked it all up, and then I came back with Tide, and I used a whole box of Tide.
Wow!
And because
Wait, I thought you said your friend cleaned it up. It sounds like you did a lot of the work.
well,
So potentially it could have been like a turkey jerky.
we did it together.
Yeah, it could have been
All right, Mary, thank you.
because that's one of those things.
Okay.
That's one of those things you don't want somebody half-assing. You know, you come over. He's like, "Yeah, I'm here to clean up your car." He goes out there. He spends 15 minutes with the car. He's like, "All right, I cleaned up your car.
All right, see you
Goodbye."
later.
No, you're going to sit there and you're going to supervise that job.
No, you're gonna sit there for 4 hours, and you're gonna keep, because that's what you had to do. You had to use the peroxide after you got everything up, and then the Tide would go in there and it would pull all the moisture out of the carpet. You'd vacuum it all up, and then you just keep repeat.
Jason writes in. He says he did that once, and the car was brand new. It was his friend that was a girl's, so he paid to get it professionally detailed because he felt so bad.
Yeah.
So I mean, was it professional details?
I would have walked away. There's
probably
no
like
way she's going to sleep with you after you puke in her car.
$150, right?
Even if you detail her car, she's looking at you like, "Yeah, loser, get out of here."
I can't hold his alcohol.
Yeah, you never. That's
So
never
Jason
gonna
moved
pay off.
on, I imagine. Preston writes it. He says he has an old roommate, and they had friends that visited from Napa Valley one year in one of their parents' new Lexuses. And he was the designated driver. After a night on the town, they headed home with the friends in the back seat, and then they started puking on each other.
Oh man, come on!
They tried to make it out the window, but it kept spraying back onto them.
The guy that threw him in my car we were in an SUV getting a ride home, and he insisted on sitting shotgun because he wasn't feeling well.
Yeah.
And the guy behind him had the window
Oh,
open.
no.
Yeah.
So terrible.
And thank God I was sitting behind the driver's seat, because the guy behind him and the guy in the middle, not good, man. Not good. Oh, I do.
So
Too early to talk about
by the
that.
time they got back to where they were going, the rear footwell was full of
okay,
vomit.
got it.
They passed out in the back seat because they were so drunk.
Oh, geez.
And then when he came back outside to check on them the next morning at 9:00, you couldn't see through the windows from the steam of the windows being.
Got it. Right. Yeah.
They used the car wash vacuum down the street to clean it up. Sufficient to say that Lexus, probably the resale value went down by thousands of dollars in one evening.
I mean, if there was ways that I could go back and change anything about my 20s, it was the amount of alcohol that I consumed at one time.
Yeah.
Like I could
Spread it out.
Yeah, you got to spread it
kinda
out.
like-
I would, if I could go back and tell my 20-year-old self something, it's like, dude, drink a glass of water between after your third beer, have a glass of water between every
Julio
beer.
Jones could use that advice in catching balls. Like, don't catch 253 yards worth of receiving if you're on my fantasy team in one game. Spread it out over 3 to 4
That's why I got rid of him for Chris Hogan, the worst trade ever.
And then very good question brought up by Ray over on the KZOZ Facebook. That's 93.3 KZOZ or 933 KZOZ on Facebook. And he brings up the question, I wonder who gets the job cleaning up the back seat of patrol cars for police officers.
Oh, just watching enough cops, I think they do it themselves.
Oh!
I mean,
Well, then
talking.
you know what? They deserve every dollar that they earn.
Yeah, because it's their car, right? I mean, I guess every shop's a little bit different. Like I was, talking to JW, they have a guy that will, that kind of manages their fleet of cars and will take them and get them washed or wash them up for them.
Oh, that's nice.
And, but I don't think they have to. I think every person that is, that drives a car that a car is assigned to, they're responsible for it. So you're supposed to bring it back like you picked it up. And it's for the next guy, and it's supposed to be clean. So, yeah, when somebody pees in a car, when somebody vomits in a car, whatever they do in the back of that car, you got to
That's
clean
on
up.
you, Jack?
That's on you, Jack.
Oh, I don't know.
And you know what the other thing is?
If I was young enough to become a police officer, I'd entertain the idea. But then I would go through all the schooling and all that stuff, and then I'd learn that like on the first day of the job. And I'd be like, this job's not really good.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. Listen online at kzoz.com.